Hello and welcome back to 21.1 Probability and Set Theory. It's the first lesson out of 3 for Credit 5. We're starting on page 6, and here we go. So, first we want to know what a set is. So, I took this from the book. A set is a collection of distinct objects. So, for example, let's say I have set B. I have the color red, yellow, green, blue, and orange. I have 5 colors in my set. Or let's say I have a set of letters, Q, R, S, T, 4 letters. Essentially, a set is just a group, because a collection is just another word for a group of distinct objects, of things, or people, or letters, or numbers, or it's just stuff in general. Okay, but write it in your own words. And the difference between an empty set and a universal set. So an empty set has no elements. It's completely empty. It has nothing. Nothing! As denoted by these two symbols. Looks like an O with a line strike through, and empty braces. All right. Whereas a universal set has everything. All the elements. All the stuff. So take a moment right now, in your own words, what's the difference between an empty set and a universal set? And we're moving on in 3, 2, 1. So here we have a chart. We're going to fill it in. First things first, it says set A is a group of stuff, specifically a set of prime numbers less than 10. So remember, prime numbers are numbers divisible by 1 and itself. So we have 2, 3, blank, and 7. In this case, what are we going to put in here? 5 or 6? And why did you make your choice? So, just to help you out, because I'm not going to fill that in. A prime number has to have, is it divisible by 1 and itself? So essentially 5, I can use 5 times 1. And those are the only times tables I could use. Whereas 6, I can use 6 times 1 or 2 times 3. So whereas this one would not be a prime number, this one would. So hint, hint, what should go in here? This one. All right. Set B is a set of even natural numbers, less than 10. So on here, I'm going to erase so we can see that note because it's important and we want to see it. So natural numbers are positive whole numbers. So think about it. Even numbers, that are less than 10. Hint, do you think it's 1, 3, 5, 7 or 2, 4, 6, 8? And count up how many numbers you just placed. Hint, there's 4 boxes. It's probably 4. And thank you, green text box. Yes, how many numbers are in that set? And last but not least, well, second to last but not least, set C is a set of natural numbers less than 10 that are multiples of 4. So, notice how this is empty. You're probably wondering, say, why is it empty? I don't understand. So notice for every single set, they've given us a letter, A, B, B, and C. So we're going to call it set C, just like universal set will be called U. So here, 4 and blank. So which of these is a multiple of 4? 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9? And then how many numbers was in that set? For here it says universal set is all natural numbers less than 10. So think about it. Should we include 0 or 10? Well, if it's less than 10, probably not. And when we learned how to count natural numbers, when you were little, did we start showing you how to count using the number 0? Was that a thing? No, we started with the number 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to let you fill in the rest. But don't use 10, because it's got to be less than 10, right? What's the smallest number less than 10? That's a whole number. It's a natural number. 9. So I'm just going to let you fill those in. Don't leave them as dots. Write them in. What's the numbers between 5 and 9? And this would be number of. Universal set is, of course, 9 numbers. All right. Now, the reason we called this set U, because it's the universal set. All right, so on to page 5. So here they go over intersection, union, and complement. So intersection is what are in both. So you'll notice they use this symbol, and one student did let me know in class that essentially that symbol could be like a letter N, like in, and, in the middle. So it's what they share, what they have in common. Okay, so here for union, you'll see it says set A and B is a set of all elements that are in A or B. So U, union, stands for united, everything. So it's everything in both what they share and what they have that's different. And then of course complement, as denoted by C or this little funny looking squiggly line A. So either these two symbols, or I've seen it also used, as you can see here, A apostrophe. So that's complement, that's everything that's not in A. Okay, so that's everything in the shaded region, as you can see here, everything in the gray. All right, so as you can see here, I'm going to erase some stuff so that way you guys can see it. If you need to take notes down, pause and do so now. Hopefully you took notes because they're gone. All right, so again, set A was 2, 3, 5, and 7. Set B was 2, 4, 6, 8. So here, we'll write down what they have in common. So it says place the numbers in their appropriate places. So first thing I'm going to do is look at these numbers. I notice they have a 2 in common, and that's about it. They only have a 2 in common. What's different about them? 3, 5, and 7, and 4, 6, and 8. So this is what's in both. This is what they share in common. So for this one, A intersection B would be the number 2. Okay. Whereas for a union, again, oh, thank you, computer. I didn't actually have to write that in. I'll go ahead and erase. And notice I only placed 2 once. That's in the middle because that only appears, it's one pair. That's the only thing they have in common. All right. So again, here you see I have the same numbers. Essentially, I'm putting the same thing here. The only difference is, since this is a union and not an intersection, I'm going to write down all the numbers that I see here. In this case would be 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's all the ones that are in the union. So this one was the intersection. This would be the union. And not, or complement. So essentially, let's go ahead and remember that we have A and universe. So one way you can do this, just so you know, is essentially see what they have in common. So in this case, we have a 2 in common, they have a 3 in common, a 5, and a 7. So that means these numbers, 2, 3, 5, and 7, will go all in here. And then the numbers I didn't circle or didn't pair up, I'm going to write in here. 1, 4, 6, 8, and 9. These are all numbers, by the way, that I found on page 6, just if you're wondering, where is she getting these? I'm getting these from the ones we filled out on the other page. So our complement would be not what's in A, but the complement would be the numbers 1, 4, 6, and 8, and 9. All right, let's continue. Oh, thank you, computer. That's so nice. I know, but I already wrote them out, so there we go. Now it's pretty. All right, let's continue on. So it's what's in the gray. Pause at any moment if you want to take down some notes. Unpause. Let's continue. So letter D, we actually just kind of went over this, computer. We saw that our intersection. So here this means and in the middle. So it's what's in the middle. I'm going to try and make that look like an N and an I. Unsuccessfully, but it's what's in the middle. In this case, it's what they share. In this case, the number 2. So that would be just the number 2 that they have in common. Thank you, computer, for making everything so pretty. Yes, that's what they have in common. That's nice. All right, for letter O, a little reminder. It's what they share. What's in both. Okay. For letter F, it's everything that we found in both. So in this case, what numbers are in either section. So remember the reference from that page. So we're going to essentially list all those numbers here. And before we move on to the next one, letter H, make sure if at any moment you need to pause. If I'm going too fast, please feel free to pause. For letter H, again, remember there was set A and the universe. So essentially all the numbers that they didn't have in common, because they had a 2 in common, a 3, a 5, and a 7. So essentially all the numbers I didn't pair up would go here. And that's the complement. That's what's not in A. See? All right, with that being said, let's go on to some practice problems on page 8. So again, it says use the sets provided. So notice they give us set A, set B, and set C. Essentially, these are all the numbers in each set. So I see they both have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Oh, and there's a 4 there. So notice how I'm only counting the 4 once. A 5, even though I see it twice, I'm only going to count the 5 once. A 6, that's the only 6 I see. A 7. 8. And oh, I don't think I'm going to fit it in, but 9. So that's me trying to fit that 9 in. Sorry about that. So here it's A union C. So remember, union is everything they have in common, because it's a union. Let me see if I can write that down a little bit clearer. Union. So I'm going to list out A, which is 1. Well, since they have a 1 in common. Actually, you know what? I'm going to list them out here anyways. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. So I notice they have a 1 in common, a 5 in common, a 7 in common, and a 9 in common. 5, 7, 9. And A only has 3, and C only has 2 and 4. So we're going to list out essentially all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. Go ahead and do so there. And we'll place the numbers in their appropriate set. Remember, it means what's in either. We'll come back and finish up the rest in the next video.